Hi, I'm Steve Adubato. We are taping remotely, as you can tell, and we're pleased to be joined once again by Ira Robbins, who is the president and CEO of Valley Bank. Ira, how you doing, my friend?
Great. Thanks so much for having me today. I really appreciate it.
Ira, the most significant longer-term impact on the banking industry, because this will be seen after in June and possibly into July. What are the biggest implications or the impacts, if you will, plural, the impact on the banking industry?
Yeah, I think it is going to be significant, Steve. And as you mentioned, we really haven't seen it as of yet. From my perspective, this is the calm before the storm, based on a lot of federal programs that have been stimulated by the federal government as well as by the regulators. Banks are able to defer loans at this point from a payment perspective. So we're really not going to know until September, October timeframe the sheer damage that's been done to the economy. At that point, it's going to be banks' responsibility to work with as many borrowers that are left to make sure that we can help get them through this time period. So there is a significant storm coming within the banking industry from my perspective.
Let me disclose this, that in the PPP program, we received one of those loans, and the relationship with the bank is critical in making that happen. Ira, describe, again, there are multiple rounds of this, and we're not going to predict what's going to happen moving forward. Describe Valley's role in that and working with the Small Business Administration and the federal government. A, what did you learn from it? B, what do we need to do to be better?
Yeah, so I think it was a great program. It enabled the federal government to get as quickly as possible money in the hands of so many small businesses. At Valley alone, we've done about 11,000 loans to small businesses for about $2.3 billion. Based on our estimates, Steve, we think we've had a positive impact in allowing small businesses within our communities to hire about 200,000 employees back, which we think is significant. The concept of the program really was to provide a bridge for many small businesses until the time that the economy was going to reopen. We think it did do that, hopefully, and it's important now that the governors of many states that we're in begin the process of reopening, or else the 2-month window that was allowed for the SBA program is going to end up being a little short.
Ira Robbins joined us on another program we do called Lessons in Leadership. We talk about leadership a lot. I'm actually doing a leadership academy, conducting a leadership academy at Valley. And it's changed. The curriculum has changed. Everything about it has changed. Leadership and the expectations of leaders has changed. Ira, let me ask you, 6 weeks after I asked you last time, what is the most significant leadership lesson you have learned as we do this in the middle of May?
Communication. And I think that message is really important throughout our organization. There's a lot of fear among many of our employees, among many of our customers within the communities we operate. It's important for leaders today to, one, establish clear communication with our employees. 2, to establish calm within our employees. 3, to make sure there's confidence that the management team is able to execute. And then really define what that vision forward looks like within our organization. When we first started this, the first message I had in the town hall was really describing the opportunities that we would have. There was going to be tremendous negative impact to the economy, tremendous health concerns for many. But this was really an opportunity for Valley, at least from our perspective, to define what we wanted our corporate culture to be internally. And then from an external perspective, what is that corporate brand that we wanted to make sure everyone knew that they would associate with Valley? And we were given that opportunity, and we had so many people during this time execute on that, working till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, nonstop, making sure that Valley defined what our corporate culture was and making sure our customers understood what Valley's corporate brand was going to look like.
There's another piece to this, and it's also the whole question of giving back, if you will, the role of a bank and supporting a community. We're on the other end. Valley is one of the many banking institutions and other great underwriters of what we do, but you support nonprofits.
Yeah.
New Jersey, New York, Florida, Alabama. That's a footprint, right?
Yeah.
Are you changing the quote giving? I hate to call it giving because it's more than giving. It's giving great support. Have you changed the philanthropic approach as a banking institution in the COVID-19 reality?
So from a philanthropy perspective, the answer that's been tailored a bit. But I don't really think of our responsibility just solely to give out grants and to give out money. And part of our responsibility is to give them an opportunity to conduct their business and be as innovative as they want to as to how they want to handle this. Over 10% of the loans that we did through the PPP were for nonprofit or civic type organizations. We prioritized them right in the beginning. In the first round, where they were talking about the size of the organizations, we did a $452 loan. In the second round, we did a $77 loan.
Why the smaller organizations?
They are the bread in my mind and the connection to the community. And it's important from everyone from a self-esteem and confidence level to believe that there's a way forward. If the community does not believe that, it doesn't matter what a large organization says. It's important to have that at every level within the organization. So we definitely tailored some of the things we've done from a philanthropy perspective, but we also made real sure that the nonprofits, the civic organizations were part of that first round of funding and had ability to access money just like the large corporations did.
Ira, there's a lot of literature out there now about the changing nature of work. You're working remotely. We're shooting this remotely. Normally, we'd be at the NJTV studio or the Tisch WNET studio in New York, wherever. But we're here. You're doing what you're doing. Many of your people are home working. Longer term, this program, this conversation seen in June, July, August. Do you believe long term that a significant percentage of people will no longer be coming to an office or a bank branch, but rather working from home?
It's going to be redefined. I don't think there's a question. It's our responsibility as leaders to make sure we continue that path and that way forward, but not automatically assume that everything that we did historically was wrong as well. So I do think office space is going to be dramatically impacted by what's happened in our models. What we've looked at internally, when we look at what our reopening plan looks like, it's probably about 80% of the employees actually come back to what a full-time position looked like previously.
80%?
80%. That said, when we look at customer usage of what the organization is, we're expecting a lot more digital adoption from many different age groups throughout the entire organization. So that's going to transform itself as well. So what do the branch footprints look like? What are the products and services that we're offering? From a capital investment perspective, where are we allocating resources to, not just from a financial perspective, but the human capital, which is the most important capital of any organization. So there's a lot of conversations we've had internally about not just what that physical footprint look like, but what does the customer behavior and employee behavior, more importantly, look like?
All right, real quick, 30 seconds. The role of technology and innovation moving forward, now and moving forward.
It's huge, and it's something that has been really focused on. For us to really define what we want to be from a relationship bank perspective, we need to have technology as a complement, not as a lead, but as a complement to the human experience. And that needs to be elevated and accelerated to a degree that hasn't happened before. So technology is going to play an important role for banks like us. And I think for many, as we walk through this process, there's a clear understanding that technology is a complement to the human, not a replacement of the human experience. And I think that's been really expanded throughout the entire experience.
Next time we talk to Ira, we'll talk a little bit more about a topic we talked about many times on the Leadership Show, which is balancing work and home life, which he thinks about an awful lot, not just for himself and his family, but for the employees there as well. Ira Robbins, who is the president and CEO of Valley Bank. Ira, thank you. Be safe, be well, and we appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you for the time.
You got it. I'm Steve Adubato. We'll be right back.
Think Tank with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, Hackensack Meridian Health, Seton Hall University, New Jersey Sharing Network, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, the Fidelco Group, Summit City MD, and by Kessler Foundation. Promotional support provided by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association, and by AM 970 The Answer. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.